All right, so we're going to keep going. I think I've got everything back to where I had it from the last one. So we're drawing this asymptote, right? Y equals x. Doing my best here anyways to draw it. Okay, so there's my slant asymptote. So as you can see, I still kind of have what we would call like quadrants maybe, 4 sections at least, but it's like more of an X shape instead of those squared off corners, okay? And the nice thing is because I already have my my X intercepts, I know that my curve is going to follow these asymptotes in this way over here, and then again in this way over here. So I already know which of those 4, quote, 2 of the, quote, 4 quadrants I'm already in. So there's my graph using my vertical asymptotes and my non-horizontal, which is my slant asymptote, okay? All right, let's see if we can get through the last example before something goes wrong again. And it might have been my mistake, I don't know. All right, let me change colors. All right, last one here. Let me do, just in case, can we factor these at all? X cubed plus 1, do we know that's a SOAP, right? They're perfect cubes, so I could get an x plus 1. And then I can get in x squared, first thing squared, the 2 multiplied together, which is just x, and then the last one squared, which is 1, always positive. Same, opposite, always positive, right? And then on the bottom, I could factor out an x, and I'm left with x plus 2. All right, nothing simplifies, so that's not going to help me out at all, but it does give me some work for later, right, when I get to go my zeros. Okay, let's work on my slant asymptote again first, just to get that example in here. All right, so I'm going to take my top, x cubed. Looks like I'm missing some powers, so get those missing powers in there. And I'm going to divide by my bottom. All right, what could I multiply x by to get x squared by to get x cubed? I could multiply by x. X times x squared is x cubed. X squared times 2x is 2x squared. And I'm subtracting, right? Subtracting that whole thing. So the x cubes cancel. 0x squared minus 2x squared will give me a negative 2x squared. I'm going to bring down the 0x. All right. What times x squared will make negative 2x squared would be negative 2. Negative 2 times that is negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times 2x will make it negative 4x. And I can bring down, oops, let me subtract first before I bring down the 1. So I subtract, my negative 2x squareds cancel, 0x minus a negative 4x makes it 4x, I bring down the 1. Now, I can't keep going because nothing times x squared will be 4x. So this is my remainder, which remember from the earlier example, we don't care about the remainder, it doesn't affect us, it's gone. All I need is this top dividend here. So my slant asymptote is going to be y equals x minus 2. That's going to be my slant asymptote. So let's see if I can find that line on my graph. Let me not quite move things quite so far if I can. Okay. Y equals x minus 2. That means I start down at negative 2. And my slope is still 1, so I'm still kind of following this line. All right, this is where I'm struggling on my bottom ones here. Trying not to get off my line. All right, there's my slant asymptote. I know I'm ahead of my game, but I'm just kind of going to do that while I'm here. Okay, symmetry. Cubed, squared, first power, there's not going to be any, all right? We always check because you never know. If I plug in f of 0, I'm going to get 1 on the top and 0 on the bottom, which is undefined, which means I have no y-intercept. See, AJ, I didn't call you out on that one. Never mind, might have just done that. Denominator. No, sorry, numerator, because I'm looking for my x-intercepts. So I already soaped that one out, right? The x plus 1, and then my x squared minus x plus 1 equal to 0. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't have to worry about this one. It's not going to equal 0, but x equals negative 1 from that one. So I have, at negative 1, I have an x-intercept. Okay. For my vertical asymptote, see if I can squeeze it in over here. That is my denominator, and I already factored that to x, and x plus 2 equal to 0, so I get one at 0 and at -2. And remember, so it's x equals 0 and x equals -2 because those are actual asymptotes. They're lines, so at x equals 0, x equals -2. All right, and we already know there's no horizontal asymptote, right, because we have a slant one, no horizontal. We had the slant, I already graphed it, that was the y equals x minus 2. And so if anything else, let me give myself some space, I need some points, right? So let's see, I need points on either side of my asymptotes here. So when I make my t-chart here, how about -3 maybe? In between the two asymptotes, like I'm at -1 already, but I need to know if it crosses over. So I need to kind of be on the left and right of it to see where I'm at. So how about -1.5 and then -0.5? And then something on the right side of that far one, so maybe 1. Okay. If somebody's willing to just plug this in your calculator and figure out where we're going here. So when I plug in -3, okay, I'm plugging in -3 cubed, which if you're okay with that, and just make it -27 to begin with, plus 1 on top, divided by, on the bottom, -3 squared will be 9. 2 times -3 will be -6, right? Get that decimal, and it's about -8.7, 8.6 repeating. Okay. So at -3, I'm at -8.7. So I'm down here, right? So I'm going to get this kind of almost a funky shaped parabola, if that kind of makes sense, down here. Okay, these next two, I need to do both of them before I graph the curve between the asymptotes. So I'm plugging in -1.5 cubed, right? Plus 1 on top, divided by -1.5 squared. Plus 2 times -1.5. And I get about 3.17. So now I have -0.5. Okay, so -1.5 is about 3.7. So it's up here, kind of, and I'm not getting real accurate here with my pen. -0.5. Cubed plus 1 divided by -0.5 squared plus 2 times -0.5. I get -1.17. And finally, when I plug in 1, I'm going to get 2 on top divided by 1 plus 2, 3 on the bottom, so I get about 0.7 or 0.6 repeating, right? All right, at -0.5, I'm at -1.7, so what is -1.17, okay? I think I'm doing one of these numbers. It's just going to keep going, okay? Kind of like a, I was going to say it's kind of curve, but you don't know about those kind of curves yet. Kind of like that x cubed, 1. And then at 1, I'm at 0.7, so I'm definitely above that. So I'm going to do one of these numbers again, okay? All right. Finding some points, kind of getting some ideas. I'm really looking hard here for the asymptotes and to know the general behavior of the graph around those asymptotes is what I'm looking for. So as far as exact points, x-intercepts, y-intercepts, from there, it's just behavior, okay? So I'm not looking for exact points and all of that. All right, sorry for the split in the video. Try page 358, 1 through 35 odd, 39 through 78 by 3s. Important to try a few of these, to try to find these values, to understand the concept of the asymptotes. The wholes, remember that's not in our book, so you won't see any in your examples really, but kind of go through some of those, okay? If you have questions, let me know. We'll definitely look at some of these in class together.